So what's your biggest ahas this week?
This is it's funny. As I'm sitting here about to say I've had a really good week, if I scroll back and think of all the days, it's really weird for me to say that I've had a really good week considering some of the things that have happened. But I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of wow, isn't that nice? Or isn't that a neat coincidence? Or look how that happened. We totally crashed our trailer a couple weeks ago. And for some reason, the guy had my phone number, and he called me today, and he's like, yep, it's all covered, and I reduced your deductible from $250 to $62.
Wow.
We were moving it from one side of the yard to the other side of the yard into its new permanent home, and it kind of all went to hell. But $7,600 of repairs are only going to cost us $62.
Oh, my gosh, that is a miracle.
Right? I know. So when he called today, he's like, yeah, and I talked them down to a $62 deductible. And I was like, I'm just not even going to ask why. I'm just going to say thank you.
Woohoo, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm in a really weird place with my work. My last 2 years has been spent trying to save my school, and this summer in particular. And on Monday, worked my butt off to submit the petition that was the answer. And by Thursday afternoon, litigation had been threatened, and I had to withdraw the petition. So, my blood, sweat, and tears over the summer and hours and hours and hours of stress. And I just can't get worked up about it. I just can't.
Oh, that's a miracle. God.
It is. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but, I posted this on the Facebook that kind of no matter what happens, it's a win because I worked so much. I had plenty of money to pay for this class without any, dipping into my normal budget. And on top of that, the benefit I've received from working my energy has put me into such a better place to be able to handle it. Whatever happens, I still am kind of in a better place.
Oh, fantastic. And so when you say you lost your school, I don't really understand.
So basically, my school has 2 locations. We used to have 4 locations, but we consolidated, and we've had 2 locations over the past 2 years. And over the past 2 years, literally 6 weeks after I became director, I got served with cease and desist, close your doors from an attorney. And there's been legal battles going on in our world. And last October, the battle was settled against the charter schools in general, California, statewide.
So you mean that's a private school, right? A charter school?
No, it's a public charter. So charter schools are public.
Okay, so what does that mean? You have to cease and desist. I don't get it.
They basically were contending that we were operating in a legal location based on ed code. So lots of legal battle, and the charter schools that were in the actual legal battle won the first 2 rounds but lost the final round, which set precedent. So once that happened, I had to get a waiver from the state to allow us to remain open last year. And our deadline to remain open was till June 2018. Well, there's a loophole that should allow us, if we write a new petition and open a new school, that should allow us to basically, say we're a new school, but really we're the same school using the same facility. And that's what I've been working on since last February. And to write a charter petition usually takes 18 months and about, a team of people. And I wrote it in 6 weeks, almost by myself.
That's fantastic. When did you start that? After you started your mentoring?
No, it's really what caused me to start the mentoring program, because I was having panic attacks and nervous breakdowns from the stress. And I was like, forget this. I need to take this meditation class because I cannot live in this state anymore. And so my baby, right? I mean, I worked of my month-long summer break. I worked every single day of it, like morning to night, waking up at 4 a.m. and writing till 10 o'clock at night, just working my butt off. And basically, the moral of the story is, even though our attorney says we are right, our district can't afford to fight the court case. It was funny when I had to stand up in front of the school board and say I'm officially withdrawing this petition. Took me a little bit to actually formulate the words coming out of my mouth, because I couldn't believe I was doing it when I was practicing. But then when I got up there, it was like, it just is what it is. And I kind of feel like I put every ounce and soul I have into this fight. What happens, happens. That's kind of where I'm at right now. If I hadn't have done this, I would have felt like I didn't do everything I could. But I did. I did everything I could. And now it's a matter of my superintendent trying to talk to the other superintendent, seeing if they can come to a deal. I don't expect it to happen because their attorney's a snake. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I can't get really emotional over it. I'm probably going to have to lay off a bunch of staff members and lose a lot of students. And, there's just a lot of ramifications. Considering something so massive happened this week, I'm in a really good place. I have my new puppy, which is just like a laugh a minute.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, so much fun. And the two, I don't regret it for a second, these two dogs. I mean, whenever I have a vet bill, I'll regret it. But other than that, I'm not going to regret it. Yeah. And I've just had a lot of fun with my family, and
I
feel
what you
better.
Wanted. Wasn't it that part of one of your your goals?
That's why I kind of feel like the dog is the result of multiple mock-ups, because one of the things I wanted out of this was fun, and, fun with my family in particular. And I definitely feel like I've gotten that. So that's pretty cool. So let me tell you about my other thing.
I look at it, you look like you're in the process of creating more fun.
That's awesome.
And removing things that haven't been fun.
This process started, honestly, the first week of class. It was such a dramatic shift where I was able to say, this is not my burden to carry alone anymore. And I was able to release so much energy where it was like I had this energy of it was my responsibility to fix the world. And so that's been gradually releasing ever since the first week of class, which is pretty awesome. And it's nice, too, because it's not that I don't care. It's that it's not spinning me in the same way it was.
Right. You get more neutral, and you have a better perspective.
Right. So that's pretty cool. But then the other thing is, so remember I told you I was pretty, I was sick and I was pretty spun out, but you checked in on me, and I was like, no, I think I'm getting back on track. And then I just had this really strong urge to connect with somebody and do this crystal energy work that I haven't done since I was like in my early 20s. I don't even remember how to do it. But I was like, here goes, right? Because it's like screaming in my head to do this. So I connected with her, and she was very, very open to it. And she's also a healer, too. She does angel work. But she's one of the parents at my school, so that's how I know her. And long story short, we didn't do the session, which is fine. But there was just some really neat validation moments out of it. You know, just the fact that she was receptive to me saying, hey, any chance you're interested in this? I kind of got a hit that you might be interested in this. That was a pretty cool validation. Then at like 3 a.m, I saw her text that said, hey, I got stung by a bee. I'm not feeling very good. Let's postpone. And in my head, I just said, okay, I'll just send my healing master to her, and went back to bed. And then in the morning when she woke up, she said, wow, you know, my guides are really telling me that even just your intention of doing the healing helps with healing. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool validation because I didn't send you my healing master.
That's awesome.
So anyways, all of that was just really neat. You know, it's just, so I was driving home from the store after I went to the store to get dog beds and just like smiling to myself in my car. And I was like, I have a really blessed life. And that was nice. You know,
well,
that's
nice. A real high level of gratitude. You're just starting to feel it more and more.
Yeah. I think it's just such a testament to the power of these tools to have had something that could have been like my crappiest week ever really be, in my mind, I have a great life. You know, like I look at all these blessings coming my way.
That is just beautiful, Catherine. I'm so proud of you. I'm impressed with your progress and your commitment to yourself. And it's so interesting, isn't it, when we just do the work and then we just start letting go of stuff that's controlling us in ways that have just kept us away from the very things that we want.
Right? And, you know, when I connected with you to start the class, I was in the polar opposite of this place. I was so stressed out. I can't handle my life. I can't handle my responsibilities, my kids, my pets, my husband. Everything is too overwhelming. And everything was just hard. And so it's quite a quick turnaround.
And how many weeks has that been?
In 2 full months.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't fully kept up with the pace, but I'm definitely receiving the benefit.
Well, you know, part of the pace is set in a way. So, you know, I think, I see you being okay with what you can do or can't do. It is a pretty quick pace. It is intensive. And the idea is set so that we keep building the energy, right? But sometimes we need to slow it down a day or two or even, 5 so that we can sort of catch our breath.
Well, and I think that one of the lessons that I'm working on, right? You know, but I think one of the things I'm working on also is not beating myself up for not doing everything perfect. And so
in your mind's perfect because everything is perfect.
Right. But like, you know, doing everything just how it should be. And I think that's a little bit part of my just being okay with the pace. But, you know, I'm also, last week I had to, or I guess it was the beginning of this, last week I had to remind myself, hey, remember when you made the commitment to this class, you said you were going to take time off of work and just go do it. And that's what I did. That's how I was able to do Class 6.
Right, which is a big step because you promised yourself. Right.
And it wasn't, I was sick and I was not in a good place and I was kind of spinning and I started falling into my excuses of why I wasn't getting the class done. And I had to remind myself, like, I have the ability to do this. And I did. So that was nice.
Congratulations. Good job. Give big old pat in the back for yourself to push through it, because it is that. It's resistances, it's old patterns, it's you're just getting ready for a breakthrough, you're sick because you've got stuck energy, and you did it, which is fantastic.
Hilarious.
How's everything going with your husband?
Better. So he actually said to me, because we had a really nice night, and so after, you worked on some of our energy in the clearing you did for me, and then 2 weekends ago, we had a spontaneous opportunity to do a date night, and the babysitting all fell into place, which was nice. And then, we had a nice intimate night, and then he actually said something, like a week later. He said something, and he goes, you need to keep doing your energy work. I said, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, because that was really nice. And I go, well, and then we worked a little bit on that space. And he goes, yeah, I could tell.
Oh, that's so cool. What great validation.
It is. And it's really nice because, he met me when I was kind of in the prime of my holistic type stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm just I've lived the last however many years in such a different space. And he always says, I didn't marry a teacher. I married a massage therapist. What happened?
Well, life.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, he always jokes, if I would have known you were a teacher, I would have ran. But so as much as there's a part of him that is like, this is all woo-woo, the other side of him fully acknowledges how important it is for me and the positive impact it has on his world. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. My ex-husband was like that. We started having a lot of problems when I went back to university. And he said, you know what, we were good when you were meditating.
You had told me when we first did our first, conversation about starting the class, that to me doing the work would have an impact on my son, on my husband, on everybody. And I see it. It absolutely has. It's just
fantastic.
It's cool to, they say when mama's happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's a nice validation of that.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Kind of in alignment with that. Yeah,
and did you read my post about how the whole dog thing happened? Because that was kind of crazy,
too. No, I didn't have a chance, sweetie.
So I didn't actually set up a mock-up. In my head, I kept going, I probably should just do a mock-up of this. But I had been playing around with the idea, and then it was literally the moment I became clear of all my parameters, we had her in less than 24 hours.
That's fantastic.
And until the moment I became clear of what I wanted, my husband thought I was crazy. And as soon as I went to him and said, you know what, here's the scenario. This is what I want, it all happened.
Interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's like, before that, he was like, this isn't going to happen.
Was he giving you resistance to it?
Oh, yeah, major. I mean, I feel like it turned on a dime even. It was major resistance. That's not happening. We're not doing that. You're crazy, blah, blah, blah. The moment I got, absolutely clear of what I wanted, it all unfolded. It actually turns out, too, that I had been kind of coveting the puppy picture of the puppy we ended up getting without realizing that that was who we were getting. For months.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, sometimes you don't have to actually sit down and do a mock-up. You're just doing it by thought.
Absolutely. That is what's creating. That your mock-up exercise is just a tool to help you clear what you don't know is there. But if you're completely clear of the parameters and have no issue, let's say what the color is, or the age of the pup, or any of those things, if those aren't big determining or deciding factors, it can manifest.
Well, you know what's interesting is I was more open for a long time, but as I got very specific on the parameters is when it happened. You know, when I went, no, I want it from 6 to 12 months. I want it to be from a reputable breeder. It'd be nice if it was the one that we had before. It was, you know, I want it to be good with kids and good with our dog. And like I had this whole long list of things. And it was like, check, 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 check. Okay, you can have her now.
Oh, interesting. So basically you relaxed with it.
I did. I was just like, instead of being like this anxiety of, I want to find one, I want to find one, I want to find one, I just went, no, this is what I want, and when it comes to me, I'll get it. And then it came to me right away. Very interesting. It was almost whirlwind.
I love it.
I would say it was like 6:30 at night that I told my husband, no, this is exactly what I want. And by 6:30 the next night, she was at our house.
Where did you find him?
At our same breeder. So what had happened was, like I said, I'd been coveting these puppy pictures, and this one in particular, for months without even ever realizing that months had passed, and it still said she was 9 weeks old. And I knew I didn't want a 9-week-old puppy. And so when I told my husband my very specific parameters, he's like, call the breeder. I'm sure he has some. And I go, oh, well, he only has puppies on his website. And he's like, call him. So I called him, and the guy goes, you're calling for Ozzy. And I was like, I am? And then the next day we met her, and it was like, I mean, the dogs look like they could be sisters. They're from a similar bloodline, but they look like they could be sisters, and she's perfect.
Oh, how beautiful is that? So they're both little girls.
They're both little girls. They're 7 weeks apart. Ozzy was cheaper than my first one because she does have one because she's older, but she also has a skin condition that she's getting over. And so when I first saw her, I was like, oh, I don't know. And my husband goes, are you kidding me? She's perfect. Her skin will clear up.
Yeah.
It's like
she just needs a crystal healing.
She just needs some healing. She just needs some TLC. And I kind of looked at him like, who are you?
What have you done with Brad?
Yeah. And I was like, well, if he's on board, then we're good.
Wow.
And, yeah. So, you know, she has a little bit of skin stuff that we have to clear up, but it doesn't scare me. And her personality is like 100% what we wanted.
Oh, that's great. Who's that little voice calling you?
That's Lily telling me that her meatballs are done.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, supper time.
So, anyways,
I think it's all so fantastic.
I'm very, very happy that I forced myself to finally listen to get back into the tools.
That's great. You didn't force yourself. Sometimes we really got to have a nudge or a cosmic 2x4, and we're in a massive crisis.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, you know, I was pretty deep in my crisis, and so it took some work to get me through the door, but how quickly things have changed.
Yeah, that's so great.
I have a lot of faith right now in everything works out. I was just saying, when we first started, I had told you, I just feel like there's something coming, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like I need to clear the space to be able to make it come.
Uh-huh. There you go.
So I still don't know what it is, but I'm in a much better place to receive something.
Yeah. Well, and you have space. Before there was zero space. You were stretched to from the kingdom come.
Yeah. Yeah, so good stuff.
It's awesome. And, your having this gauge looks high and good, and your receiving gauge looks high and good. And so that's great.
Yeah, so now my goal is to give myself class number 7 because I tried to do it the other night and fell asleep. So I've got to start that one again. But that's my next step, and I kind of feel like number 6 was so awesome.
6 classes. You've only had 6 classes then. We said 8. So
yeah, I've only done 6 of them.
Wow. Okay.
So that I'm like, gosh, number 6 made such a shift. I can't wait to do number 7.
I love that you're open and you're sharing, Catherine. It really means a lot. And I think it really is encouraging to others.